So I recently did an unboxing video and a first shots video with the Retay RXP22, and I was quite impressed with that rifle. Well, today we're going to be doing an unboxing on another gun from Retay, and that gun is the RXP22. Let's check it out. We're over on the other bench, and before we get this out of the box, I kind of wanted to show you the packaging because it is pretty nice. This is one side of the box. This is the threaded barrel version, which is what we've got. Then you go over to the other side. They're showing you 4 different color combinations that they have with this gun. There are a lot of different color combinations. We'll kind of dive into that in a little bit. This side of the box has my serial number and UPC, and then the actual box just slides out of this sleeve. And then here on the top of the box, it's going to give us the information of the one I've got. It is chambered in 22 LR. I've got the matte black barrel with the OD green frame. And then on this side of the box, you've just got your warnings and your notice. And then if you look right here, it says pull it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And you open up the flap. We'll start up here at the top. It says stop, read the owner's manual before handling this firearm. Then we move down to the bottom, and this comes with a limited lifetime warranty card, and you do have a QR code you can scan to register your firearm. Then we've got another card with a QR code. This is just going to take you to the Retay USA website. And then we have our owner's manual. It's pretty much just a black and white manual. Tells you how to load it, troubleshooting, unloading, disassembly, and that's what I was looking for. Here on the back, we've got a full parts list and a breakdown of the firearm. All right, and then we've got our gun. It is inside of a plastic bag. We're just going to set this off to the side for a second. Then it says accessories. We'll open this up. We've got an extra magazine. We're going to dive into the magazines here in a little bit. We do have a wrench. We'll talk about what this does in a little bit. We've got a cleaning brush, we've got our cable lock, and we have an adapter plate for our optic because this is an optics ready pistol. And we're going to deep dive into the optic mounting system here in a little bit because it is a little unique. And then here on the bottom of the box it says do not dry fire the RXP22, and we're in good shape there because I finally bought a bunch of 22 LR snap caps. That's everything in the box. Alright, here is the RXP22, and this does come with 2 13-round mags. Like I said, we're going to talk about magazines here in a little bit. But it does come with one in the gun and one inside the box. So the model they sent me is a 2-tone model. This has the OD green frame with the matte black slide, and I also have the threaded barrel version. And you can get this with a non-threaded barrel. Alright, let's get some quick specs out of the way. Since this does have the threaded barrel, the barrel length on this is 4.35 inches. The overall length on this, from the tip of the barrel to the back of the beaver tail here, is 8 inches. The height on this is 5 inches. The overall width on this is 1.2 inches. And because this gun uses weighted magazines, with the magazine installed in this gun, it weighs 1 pound 8 ounces. Now, something I wanted to tell you guys about those weighted magazines. When I did the interview with Retay over at the Great American Outdoor Show, they said they did this on purpose because they wanted to make this gun a training pistol. So with the weighted magazines, when you grab this gun and pick it up, it feels like you're grabbing a compact size 9mm, like a Glock 19. And they did that on purpose because they wanted people to have a cheap alternative for a training gun chambered in 22 LR, because a lot of 22 pistols, when you pick them up, they're just light. They don't weigh very much at all. All right, we're just going to start right here at the top of the gun and work our way down and go over all the features of this gun. Now, I already told you that this gun has a threaded barrel, and the barrel on this is threaded 1/2 by 28. And if you stay tuned till the end of the video, I will put a couple suppressors on this and show you what it looks like. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek of a brand new optic that just got sent to the channel. And it's something that a lot of you were asking for in the comments section when I did a review on the original optic. Now we move back right behind the threaded barrel, and we do have a green fiber optic front sight. And if we move back here to the back of the barrel, there is a hole, so you will be able to see if you do have a loaded chamber. Then we move back here, and we've got 2 screws to remove the cover plate if you decide you want to mount an optic on this gun. And then we have a blacked out rear sight, and this sight is adjustable for windage. There is a flathead screw right there. You can loosen that up and move the sight left or right. And on the back of the sight, there are some serrations to cut down on that glare. All right, I went ahead and took the cover plate off. Now, if you're going to run an optic on this, you're going to lose that rear sight. So I would suggest that you get an optic that has a rear sight built into it. Now, I told you that the optic mounting system on this was kind of unique. So if you look here, you've got 2 screw holes here. And because we're on YouTube, I can't show you how to do this, but you can direct mount an RMSC footprint dot. Now, this is the original Gideon Optics Judge. It has the RMSC footprint, and you will be able to direct mount it right to the slide. The only downfall, if you decide to go with an RMSC dot, you are going to have a little bit of a gap here in the front and a little bit of gap in the back. And then if you notice, you've got 2 more holes right here. And that's going to allow you to direct mount any optic with the RMR footprint. And here, you got a nice tight fit. You're not going to have that gap in the front or the back of the optic. And then if you remember back at the beginning of the video when we were unboxing everything, I showed you this mounting plate. If you look here, it comes with 2 screws. You're going to mount this plate to the slide, and then you have all these other holes drilled out. This is going to allow you to mount other dots. So you're going to be able to use dots that have the Vortex or Doctor footprint, the Delta Point Pro. I'm not a very big fan of adapter plates, but it should be just fine on a 22. So if you do have a favorite dot that doesn't have the RMR or RMSC footprint, well, you're in luck because it comes with a mounting plate. Now I'm going to go ahead and just leave that plate off for the rest of the video because, like I said, I am putting an optic on this before we take it out to the range for the first shots video. All right, now we move back here and we do have a skeletonized hammer. This gun is double action and single action, and we're going to talk about the trigger here in a little bit. All right, now we move down here to the slide. We do have some serrations up here in the front. They work. They're a little grippy. Being that this thing's only chambered in 22 LR, it is super easy to rack the slide, but I would have liked to seen those go further down the slide, but you do have some serrations there. And we also have serrations here on the back, and same thing, very easy to rack the slide. They're not cut very deep into the slide, but they work pretty well. Now we'll move down to the frame. Like I said, this is the OD green version. They've got black, FDE. You can do a solid color if you want an all black gun, they have it, an all FDE, an all green, or you can do two-tone like what I have here. Now we look out here on the front, we do have a 1-slot accessory rail, kind of reminds you of a Glock. We'll test out some different lights on this when we take it out to the range for the first shots video. I already know a lot of people are going to complain about this and just ask why didn't they put a regular 1913 rail on the bottom of here, but this is what we got. Now when we go over to the other side, this is going to be the takedown lever. I'm going to show you how to take this gun down here in a little bit. You've got your slide stop, slide lock, slide release, whatever you want to call it right here. This gun does not have any ambi controls on it, and this does have a manual safety. Now there is no thumb ledge or anything over on this side, but if you are a right-handed shooter, you will be able to use your takedown as your thumb ledge. Now a lot of people have said that the grip on this reminds them of a Springfield, and this gun actually feels pretty good in my hand. Now I've got big 2XL hands, and without the mag installed, I cannot get my pinky finger on this, but when the mag's in here, especially the way they designed the base plate, I can get a full grip on this gun. We do have a nice undercut right here. We've got some nice stippling here on the back. You got the RXP logo right here. You got the Retay logo here, and then you have that same stippling here on the front. And it feels pretty good. I would always like to see some more stippling right here and up in this area. But again, this is only a 22, so it's going to have very little recoil. Now we got a nice undercut right here on the trigger guard, and they did put some serrations up here in front of the trigger guard. All right, now before we dive into the trigger, let's talk a little bit about the magazines. Now, like I said, these are weighted magazines, and the magazine body on this is a metal magazine body. You do have a red follower. You do have a loading assist right here. You got a button right here on the base pad. You can push this in and tear this mag down for cleaning and maintenance. Now, if you live in a state where you can't have 13-round mags, well, they have a 10-round mag version for you. And what's super cool, if you live in a free state like I do, they also have 18-round mags for this gun, and they were nice enough to send one of these with the pistol. Now, the 18-round mag weighs quite a bit less because this mag is all polymer. You do have that loading assist right here. You've got that red follower. You've got the same push button for the base pad to tear this down, and that's what it looks like inside the gun. Now let's dive into the trigger. I'm going to show you that this gun is clear, no mag, nothing in the chamber. I went ahead and loaded up a couple snap caps in our 13-round mag. We're going to go ahead and chamber one. Now, like I said, this is double action, single action. We do have a flat face trigger. Right now we are in single action mode. So we've got a little bit of take up. It's really clean take up. There's no grit or grind. We hit that wall. That's actually nice. There was no creep there. You hit the wall and it breaks. And the reset, there is no audible or tactile reset. We're back on that wall. And then we get that nice clean break. Let's try that reset one more time. Right there's the reset. I could barely hear it right there. I couldn't even really feel it. So the reset on this is not the greatest. It's a little weird. I'm out of snap caps, so I'm not gonna pull the trigger. Now, one thing I wanted to show you on here, if you have the safety on and you go to pull the trigger, it's just basically a dead trigger. Now, I do have a snap cap in here, and I'm going to show you the double action trigger now. And it is extremely heavy. So right there's that take up. It's really heavy. Like, that's not even going to register on my Wheeler trigger pull scale. So if you're going to use this in double action, that first trigger pull is going to be a rough one. Alright, I got my Wheeler trigger pull scale. I want to see how nice this single action trigger is on this. That's not bad at all. Broke right at about 4 1/4 pounds. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to take this gun down for cleaning and maintenance. So if anybody from YouTube's watching, I'm not making any modifications to the gun. I'm just showing people how to field strip this for cleaning and maintenance. So again, I'm going to show you the gun is clear. No mag, nothing in the chamber. So you got your takedown lever here. You're going to flip this down. This is going to pull right out. You're going to hear a little click. Now this is a little different than most guns. One nice thing on this, you do not have to take the thread protector off like you do on some guns to take this down. So you're going to take your slide, you're going to pull it back, and you're going to lift it up like that. And you're going to go forward very slow, and that's how you remove the slide. You also have a spring here. You've got your guide rod. There also is a block back here that may fall out, just like that. So here is that block. And it can only go in one way, so you're not going to mess it up. But this gun should be pretty accurate because, as you can see, it is a fixed barrel gun. Now, to put it back together, the easiest way I've found is go ahead and put your guide rod in the block. We're going to put this in here. Like I said, it can only go in one way. All right, our block's in. Leave your guide rod just like that. Go ahead and grab your spring. Slide it onto the guide rod. You're going to grab your slide, put it on an angle just like this, because you have to grab the spring and slide it over the barrel at the same time. You're going to go all the way back, just like that, drop it down, and let it go forward. You're going to have to kind of pull back and push down to get it to slide home. Now, when you go to put the takedown lever back in, you're going to kind of pull back on that slide a little bit, and I just kind of keep working this around till it drops in, and there you go. Back in business. All right, I think we pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover on this, and I did promise you I will show you what it's going to look like with the optic on it, and what it's going to look like with a couple different rimfire suppressors on here. So let me go get that optic mounted up, and I will bring it back and show you what it looks like. All right, there's our Retay RXP22 all set up and ready to head to the range for the first shots video. Now, I recently did a review on the red dot version of this optic. This is the Zero Hawk EM1. Now, one of the biggest complaints people had in that video was the fact that they did not make a green dot version of the optic. Well, that's what's on here now. This is the brand new Zero Hawk EM1 6 MOA green dot. Now, the suppressor that's on here is the anechoic Pipsqueak. And I've used this on quite a few different 22s here on the channel. And it's a pretty cool little suppressor. And here it is with the anechoic Anecho-X 22. This should be nice and quiet on this gun. So I am super excited to get this out to the range for the first shots video. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.